everybody. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about something that happened that really kind of showed me the integrity of basically the area that we live in. And so my mom bought my daughter a trampoline for her birthday. And obviously we don't live in the same state anymore and things like that. And so my mom had it shipped to our house. And today I got a notification that the trampoline had been shipped to our property, but there was nothing at our gate. So I figured maybe they had left it at the post office. That happens sometimes, things like that. And so I didn't think too much of it. Well, about, I guess like 4 or 5 hours later, I get a call from my husband. He's in the process of returning our neighbor's tractor back to them. And he's driving down our driveway and he lets me know that there's this random SUV at our gate just honking like crazy. And he's going to go check it out. And so I was like, okay, I'll keep my eye out. It's kind of weird, considering we live out in the middle of nowhere. Like, there's no reason for anybody to be at our gate honking. And so he actually goes down to the gate and meets this woman. And she asks if I live here or if I was expecting a package. And he goes, yes. And she goes, okay, well, it was delivered to my house. The woman lives probably about 20-25 minutes from our property. Like, it completely got sent to the absolute wrong part of the county. And so this woman saw that this package obviously was delivered to her house by mistake. She saw our address and everything like that. And she went, out of her way. Now, it's a trampoline, mind you. And there's 2 boxes for this trampoline. So it's not like a small little tiny kid's trampoline or anything. Like, it's a, something adults can jump on. And so she loads this up into her SUV and then proceeds to drive out to our area to try to find our address. And I will say that our address is not easy to find at all. Like, it's not like GPSable. So she literally just had to drive out to our area and try to find it. And so I thought it was really cool because living, in Florida, there's plenty of, just living anywhere, you hear about the porch pirates and everything like that, and people getting packages stolen off their own front porch. And, this is stuff that even where we lived in Florida, it was something we had to worry about too. Like, if packages arrived, from Amazon or whatever, was somebody going to take it off our front porch and this, that, and the other thing. And it was more so, the integrity of the area just kind of sucked. And it's one of those things, this woman, like, literally got a trampoline delivered to her property, and she delivered it to us. She went out of her way to, come to our place and deliver to us. And she was even saying, she's like, yeah, I saw the gate and the lock and everything. She goes, but I figured if I just stayed down here long enough and kept honking, someone would eventually come over to me and help me out. And she didn't know if it'd be one of our neighbors or if it'd be us. And we have a really long driveway. And so my husband's like, actually, I'm really happy that I had to return the tractor to our neighbor because we wouldn't have heard you. And so it worked out nicely. And it was one of those things that I thought about. I was like, dang, like, where we live, people will get a several $100 item mistakenly delivered to their house, and they'll find the correct address and bring it to them. And not that, I'm sure there's people in this area that would have just maybe kept it or returned it or whatever. But at the same time, like, this is the vast, like, out of all the, interactions I've had with people in this area, it seems to just be kind of the way people in this area work. Like, this is not like, oh, this one lady is just really nice. No, I mean, I meet people at the hardware store that are ridiculously nice. And the amount of churches we have been invited to, just in the first few weeks we moved here, I think within the first 3 weeks of moving here, we were invited to like 5 or 6 churches by people we met, and it's one of those things that just people around here are just very nice. They're very down to earth. They're very friendly. They're very much so like, I don't have a problem with you unless you create a problem with me. Like, we'll handle our own situations kind of thing. But at the same time, they're very neighborly. And this woman was so neighborly, in fact, that she drove at least 20 minutes to get us our daughter's birthday gift, basically, from my mom. And it was one of those things I was thinking about. It's like, man, in Florida, this probably would have never happened. Like, the likelihood that somebody would go out of their way that much to give somebody a package that was mistakenly sent to them is, I don't even think that would happen, quite frankly. And it's one of those things that when you have children, when you have a family, and this is something that my husband and I thought about too, you have to think about the integrity of the area that you're living in. You have to think about it's not just the people you hang out with immediately, it's the people you're going to interact with on a daily basis, going to the store or going to, you know, some shop or something like that, whatever, you know, just gas station, you know, whatever. Like it's something you have to think about. And it's something, especially in like kind of the world we're living in right now, that finding a place to live in where the integrity of the people as a whole is high, and people have a high value on being a good person and being a good neighbor and doing what's right. Not just what's right by like the law kind of thing, because out here where we live, pretty much the law is a very small part of the population, but it's more so just doing what's right as a person. You know, there's, you know, some commandments that are put, you know, that God gave us that people kind of listen to out here. And it's one of those things that it really made me happy and thankful that we live in an area where people actually have good integrity. And it's not just the people we hang out with on a regular basis, it's people in general in this area. And like I said, I know there's bad people that probably live in this area. I have yet to interact with them. And I'm thankful for that. But I'm sure there's people who don't have good integrity around here. But at the same time, the vast majority of people that I have met around here, actually everybody I've met around here, has been really nice, really helpful, really considerate, willing to answer any questions you may have, willing to go out of their way and like compliment you on like, you know, especially like compliment you on your Second Amendment rights and stuff like that. Because I do open carry, and because Oklahoma is an open carry, constitutional carry state. And the amount of times people have been like, yeah, Second Amendment, woo, like, you know, stuff like that. It's kind of funny. You know, I'll get it at the laundromat. I got it at my daughter's soccer practice the other day. But it's one of those things where if you are living in an area where the way you think, the way you act, the way you want to live your life is a minority, you maybe need to check that out. That was something that my husband and I thought a lot about when we were, you know, thinking about moving and leaving Florida, because a lot of our values, just our personal values, were in the minority or like a fringe type thought process. And not that it's anything, bad. It's just, it wasn't the majority anymore. And so it's one of those things that you really need to start thinking about that. You need to think about where and how you want to raise your children and what kind of environment you want your children living in. And I know we cannot shelter our children from everything. I know that's not going to happen. But at the same time, you can choose to live somewhere that reflects your values. And for us, Florida wasn't it anymore. And it was just one of those things where today, seeing this woman who went way far out of her way to make sure that we got the package that was supposed to come to us. It was actually in 2 boxes. And to do that, that just kind of shows the integrity of this area and how the people are willing to do what's right. And it's obviously wasn't convenient for her to try to find our property, but she did. And she did the right thing and made my daughter very happy and made me very thankful that we live here. But it's one of those things, guys, something to think about, especially in, I guess, kind of like the times we're living in right now, is the integrity of the area you're living in, and do the values of the area you're living in reflect your values? And if not, then you need to start thinking about where might be a good place. And it could be, anywhere in the country. I don't know what your values are specifically, but are your values being reflected in the area you're living in? And if not, if you're in the minority, if you're not, in the same thought process as a lot of other people around you, maybe you need to start thinking about where you need to go that you will not necessarily be in the minority. Yeah, just something to think about, guys. Another reason 1,500,000 that I'm thankful for living in Oklahoma. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys today because that was something that was pretty cool and something I was thankful for. I hope you all have a great day. Bye.